All right, team, welcome back to After Hours. We have a lot of great things to talk about. And for the people that come every single week, we're going to be talking about some different cryptos today. A complete flip up. You're not going to hear us probably talk about our favorites here. We are going to talk about hot news in other altcoins, like this new crypto poll that is the upgrade from MATIC. We're also going to discuss Wyoming stablecoin and what the governor had to say. And finally, if we have enough time, we might talk about this Cardano and Algorand partnership that could be coming and speculate a little bit on that. So we might be doing a lot of speculation here today. We don't usually speculate a lot, and we just usually go with the facts, but we're going to, put on our thinking caps and think about the future of crypto and what this means for us going forward. Maddie, let's talk about you for a second here. I get onto Twitter this week and I see Maddie just absolutely going ham with the tweets. What's going on, man? What's going on with you?
I've just had it with some of the influencers in this space, who are supposed to be, leaders in this community, providing people with a leg up when it comes to research, understanding what they're invested in. And like I've talked about many times, I don't expect everyone to have a confirmation bias or to only talk about bullish things or to never express concerns or frustrations. We have a responsibility to be honest with our audience. But Crypto Mason is out here just consistently being a detriment to not just the Casper community, but the crypto community as a whole. And I was reading through some of the comments in there, and it's definitely not just me. But he basically goes in there and talks about how shitty Casper's performance has been, and how the team is just messing things up so badly, and the network's not performing like it's supposed to. So he has to shut down his node because it's not profitable anymore. Because Casper devs are just dumping on. First of all, none of that is sustainable at all. Like none of that actually is true. None of that makes sense. And there's plenty of other validators out there who backed up some of the tweets that I was talking about in their relations to the way that you set up your node and your logistics behind that does not equal Casper staking not being profitable. Everyone gets the same opportunity for the same APY, right? Like all the validators in there are getting the same APY. There's no special APY being associated. However, if you decide to outsource your node operation, you decide to outsource the oversight of that, outsource the hardware, you're going to have costs associated with that. Versus, I don't know, maybe if you know a tiny bit about technology, you can slap together a little PC in a couple hours at your house and then run the node out of your own house. Guess what? Your costs are going to be a lot lower. Additionally, you set the commission rate that you want to extract from each of your people contributing and delegating to your particular node. So he's out here saying that Casper is the one, making him not profitable, and he has to shut down the road because the Casper team did this. But guys, he did this to himself by being lazy and outsourcing everything and not looking at all of the math behind what's actually required to run a profitable node. Profitability is also something relative to your personal risk appetite. So over time, if you were to look at the price of Casper, let's say being 50 cents, $1 in the future, you really won't really care that much about potential short-term loss. But my guess is he put a little bit too much money into it, didn't look at the actual cost of what it takes to run a node, especially an outsourced node, and thought it was just going to be easy money pouring into his pocket. So sorry, Mason, you don't know shit about shit. And hopefully you just walk away from this project so that the rest of us can actually educate people on proof of stake, Casper, and real fundamentals when it comes to projects.
Yeah, if you guys because I know you guys don't pay attention enough to some people that, back certain cryptos. And so I think if you go through and scrub through his tweets, he's the perfect example of someone that backs out of a project, right? Someone that was super bullish on Casper. And then as of recent price action was saying, hey, you know what, guys? Oh, it was with, the network halt. He's like, hey, guys, I'm still going to hold my Casper, but, I'm not sure. I'm just counting it as a loss. And it's I'm not going to sell it, though, but I'll keep the node going. And then this week it's yeah, guys, the node's gone, we're done here. And it's okay, bro, that's just the natural progression of influencers backing out of a project. So whatever, that's fine, whatever, Crypto Mason. But it's funny because people were critical. It's why do you guys have to talk about other people? And it's hey, listen, this is a me versus you game, but at the end of the day, we have to talk about what's going on in the community, because with these big players talking about these smaller cryptos, that could play a bigger part than you realize. So that's why we gotta call out the bullshit and be hey, Mason, shut up, go stand in the corner. I don't want to hear about your nonsense of you. We saw the writing on the wall with him. So anyways, right. Before we get into the actual content for today, team, we had to, I loved hearing that from Matt, and I loved to open up Twitter to seeing Matt just go ham on him. That's just great to see. We need some of that interaction here. But team, before we actually get into the things we're going to discuss today, become a Crypto Charge member. Click the pin link in the comment section down below and join the education platform of your dreams so that you can know about crypto and invest accordingly. And you can join the Discord community where you have all access to the community there and ask questions and get info and not be in the dark, as many of you are right now. I know you're in the dark because I see your questions. So join up there, use code YouTube. Maddie, let's get into some of the things we have for today. Again, we are going to be discussing cryptos we don't usually talk about, okay? And so let's start here. MATIC. It was funny, Maddie, before we read this right here, we were discussing, I was discussing with you like how the MATIC network is now went to the Polygon network, and then the MATIC token is now going to the Pol token. Like, what's the point here, right? Like, what would be the absolute point here of a rebrand like this?
It honestly just seems like a waste of time and money to me. I mean, you think Pol, I think strip to earn, like we were talking about off stream, right? Like it's not going to do anything additional for the network. Now they're saying, okay, well, this new token has, additional benefits and additional features, but you could literally do that same upgrade to your MATIC token, right? So, listen, I get it. Companies rebrand. Sometimes you get, a little bit of a facelift down the road, but it's just not worth the time and money, in my opinion. We've also seen the way that MATIC has spent their money, or Polygon has spent their money in relations to marketing. It's an egregious amount of money that they spend for sometimes even just like very little advertisements on CoinMarketCap and other places. So I don't think that the Polygon network, although it's good fundamentally, has done a great job being diligent with the dollars that they have when it comes to marketing and progressing the network forward.
Got it. All right, let me get into it. The MATIC to Pol upgrade on Polygon POS is scheduled for September 4th, which is next Wednesday. Pol will become the new gas and staking token for the Polygon network. So this is what matters for you MATIC holders here, or now to become Pol holders. Congrats. MATIC holders on Polygon do not need to take any action for the upgrade, as the tokens will automatically convert to Pol. However, MATIC tokens on Ethereum, Polygon ZK EVM, and centralized exchanges may need to take steps to migrate their tokens, but I did check, and Coinbase came out and said you're good as long as you have your MATIC on the Coinbase exchange. You shouldn't have your MATIC tokens on the Coinbase exchange, but if you do, you'll be fine. You don't need to do anything. So I looked at it. There's no change in tokenomics here. 10 billion supply, the same as the MATIC token will be for Pol, but there are some change in like some functions here. So enhanced security with validators. There's a more rewards with the validators, so an incentive there. And a change in governance rights. And I saw some people are stupid, Matt, and people on Twitter were like, oh, this name change is because they need a rebrand because of price action. And I'm just like, this is like the most stupid time in crypto I've ever been in, because everyone is just talking out of the side of their neck, and they're making the most weirdest comparisons and the weirdest like things to like say, oh, you know what? We're just making big changes because we need a boost in price action. And so is this the right time to do this? And will this actually increase or not? Increase the price of Pol token, aka MATIC token?
I think that it's actually probably going to create more confusion for the average retail investor. You look at the average person out there, and they still call Ripple XRP and XRP Ripple, even though that was never a token name change. There just still is already that confusion out there, and even after you set people straight, they just continue with the mistakes down the road. I also look at some of these, MATIC being one of the bigger winners of last cycle, and you had a lot of institutional investors talking about them, and lots of reports on Masari, and a variety of other people who provide really, really good analytics. And now when people go to back search and they search Pol instead of MATIC, they're not going to see all this old data and all this old research and a lot of these other hits that are associated with MATIC. So I think short term, this could actually have maybe some negative impact, at least in relations to retail investors having access to old data in relations to MATIC and the network, and some of the breakdowns that people have done. Now, I'm sure on YouTube people will go back and they'll revise the tags and start to add Pol in there so they pop up. But I think short term, I think that it's a waste of money. I think it's a waste of time, and I think that you could have done all this, everything in the background in relations to the enhanced security security and rewards and governance without changing the token name. It's absolutely not necessary. So again, maybe this is their last little attempt to be as unified as possible, pull Polygon and make that, easy assumption there. But I think it's foolish. I think it's a waste of time and money. And you are going to have this short little gap where people are going to be doing research and it's not going to pop up for them. You're going to lose a lot of that data that other people have done for you free of charge, like including me. Like, not that I've talked a lot about MATIC, but like you look at other projects I've talked about, if Casper were to change their ticker from CSPR to something else, people are not going to find my videos very easily, right? So I think it's very foolish for them to take all that free research and marketing that other influencers do or other researchers do and throw it away.
Wyoming stablecoin to launch Q1 of 2025. So the governor, Mark Gordon, spoke in Wyoming this past weekend at the blockchain symposium, the Wyoming blockchain symposium. And the state is allegedly working on a state-issued dollar-pegged stablecoin set to launch in 2025. The stablecoin will be backed by UST bills and repurchase agreements with exchange listings expected in January, February, March, April of 2025. And it was interesting because I love hearing this commentary as it relates to 2008. Governor Gordon criticized government overreach in bailouts following the 2008 financial crisis, emphasizing that Wyoming's approach values risk and innovation. So, Maddie, this would be the first of its kind seen in America, and there's always hurdles that have to go through. And so my question to you is, what hurdles does Wyoming have to go through with its stablecoin for other states to follow suit in Wyoming with its stablecoin?
Yeah, so Wyoming's been incredibly blessed to have somebody like Cynthia Loomis out there speaking for them in relation to crypto, being pro-crypto, pro-self-custody, right to mine, all these staples that, all these, political politicians now, or presidential candidates now want to promise you, Cynthia Loomis has been out there doing the hard work while she's been elected. So first of all, big tip to her for that. One of the things that we look at when we talk about stablecoins and the acceptance of stablecoins and, it being something you can legally use to pay private and public debts is going to be the integration with banks. So we're going to first of all need a rock solid network that people can trust. Are they going to be building on their own network? Are they going to be throwing this on an existing network like Lightning or maybe some other smaller altcoin out there that we know is highly efficient for facilitating these kinds of transactions? A lot of those questions need to be answered. But one of the things that's going to maybe be a little bit of a hurdle, like we're discussing there, is the integration with central banks. So that's going to be something that you'll also see like on a federal level. So we can start to address this stuff on a state level, and maybe Wyoming has their own stable coin, and you can use that to pay your taxes or private debts or whatever, and it's accepted as legal tender in Wyoming. The state does have the right to do whatever they want there. When we look at the wider realm of adoption, you're going to need that master account from the Fed. You're going to need these central banks to cooperate with your state government in order for these stable coins to really become something that's super viable moving forward. So first of all, I'm never going to poo-poo the small steps. It always starts with small steps, right? You look at Bitcoin in 2008, it was absolutely nothing to anybody that, 99% of the population, and now, everybody, including probably some people in third world countries, at least know what Bitcoin is. It's going to take some time for that adoption to sit in. So love it, very bullish on it. Do I think that means you'll be by next year being able to pay your taxes with stablecoins in Wyoming? No. Do I think that it could be in the next 10 years? Absolutely.
Cardano founder teases partner chain with Algorand. So Charles Hoskinson, founder of Cardano, hinted at a possible collaboration between Cardano's AI-focused chain Minotaur and the Layer 1 network Algorand, which could result in a powerful decentralized AI platform. The idea of the partnership sparked on Twitter, and while there have been positive exchanges between these two, Cardano and Algorand, entities with the founders of each, it remains unclear whether specific initiatives with the two blockchain giants might develop together. And this looks like with financial tech products and with AI together, Matt. And so I asked before we got on the show, is like, what are the two positives that are brought here from Cardano and Algorand that could be brought together for an AI based blockchain?
One of the big promises from the Cardano team is highly efficient smart contracts. And that is going to be a very important piece to AI, AR governance, AI-based products, any of that stuff. In addition to, of course, cheap and effective NFT minting. Both of those things are going to be very crucial. One of the big prongs that you guys know for Algorand is going to be really, really high throughput as well as really cheap transactions. I think that one of our moderators said something to the extent of you could pay 2,500 employees in your organization. You could get all their paychecks, sent out to them for about 52 cents for 2,500 people, which is really just very, very cheap. I don't think that you could get anywhere near that with your traditional banking. They would charge you a lot more than that to pay 2,500 employees. So I think if you were to extract some of the key values from Cardano and the key values from Algorand, and then you were to build an application that is AI focused, those would probably be some of the strengths that would drive from those. Now, do I think that Cardano and Algorand become one network and they all become incredibly AI oriented? No, I don't think so. There's also other projects out there that are already leaps and bounds ahead when it comes to AI governance and AI implementation. We've even seen recently with the Casper network, they have recently started deploying via the Grayscale AI, Grayscale Prove AI, for AI governance, and we're seeing those NFTs minted right now. You can actually go look on the Casper network on the most recent deploys. Every minute they're deploying new ones and testing those out. So I know there is a big race right now for AI. Everyone's going to be putting a lot of applications out there in relation to AI. I think during this next bull run, you guys are almost going to be overwhelmed with the number of AI projects. So I want you guys to be very careful too, and not feel like you have to jump into every AI project. Everyone's going to do great marketing and promise you that they're leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. But there are people in this bear market that have been building AI projects already and have infrastructure that's meaningful, not just a shiny new token that's listed and promising you really good price action. So very bullish on AI. I think that it's an absolute big necessity when it comes to the applications that people want now, especially with the way that ChatGPT and other applications are being built and being utilized right now. I know ChatGPT has become an absolute staple in my life. So as time goes on and AI becomes more prevalent, you're going to have countermeasures to make sure that the AI doesn't create more problems for us. So applications that can both enhance as well as provide countermeasures are going to be super essential moving forward.
Matty, in the early days of our crypto portfolio creation, because you were kind of there to lead me on a path of where I started, and there was no AI sector that I can invest in where it's like, okay, we're looking at this crypto project and this network is for real utility with AI. That wasn't the thought process with Casper when we got into that. And so I want to ask you, in today 2024, we're in almost September now, do you think it's mandatory for a sliver of your portfolio to allocate towards an AI-based crypto?
I would seriously consider adding a AI vertical into your portfolio. Not that you have to crack into 10 coins to satiate that. And again, everyone has a different strategy, right? I know some of you guys have a different strategy, and that's okay. But I would consider maybe 3 to 5 projects, add them to your watch list, identify a few decent prices, do some research, and then maybe if 1 or 2 of those come down into your price zones and you get that opportunity, capitalize on those. But I would say over these next few months, maybe start to consider, if you don't already, looking at a few AI plays out there, make those considerations, add them to your watch list, and then you can of course make some decisions. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very hot topic, and you guys also need to be very selective as we move forward, because there is going to be an abundance moving forward as AI becomes one of those big hot sectors.
Have you allocated to any AI projects?
I would say that probably Casper is like my only AI exposure right now. I know that FET's a great project as well. It's a little lofty in relations to price action, so I don't think that's something I'll be jumping on right now. But that is something we want to bring to you guys on the show, is more AI-oriented picks, at least in relations to the research, getting you guys' toes wet on that, and kind of giving you guys some options to look at.
That's so funny because we kind of just fell into it. It was like when the AI topic started coming around, it was like something brand new to crypto, with AI and blockchain coming together. And it was just so funny how this has been like a project since if you were here with us in 2021, the Casper was like a big talking point. And so it's just so funny how we've are now in a position now where it's like, I just so happened to buy an AI crypto. And just all right, team, that's all we have for today. A little quick show here today, Matt. And, we usually go over, but today we went a little bit under. So maybe I need to grab some more news pieces. I've just been I've just been looking at the things online, and it's just not worthy to talk about, you know. So we got to speculate a little bit today about some cryptos we don't usually talk about, and then, you know, of course, Casper comes up, and then we have to talk about it, Matt. It's just it just unfortunately or fortunately for us, because we like talking about Casper, it just always pops up, and so, you know, I hope you guys enjoy that. And I hope you guys enjoy the things we have to bring on the show. If you got something valuable here, make sure you leave a like, and anything that we didn't discuss in detail today, you can ask down below, and we will bring it up on the Ask Matty show, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, and we will answer all the good questions. If you notice over the last couple Ask Matty shows, all the questions that have been uber positive and, you know, be like, hey, you guys are amazing, so great, thank you so much. Can you chart XDC? And I was like, of course, we will bring that up. So, team, be nice and leave your questions down below. But we will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.